Every civilization believed it would be different. Different gods, different values, different technologies, different enemies, and yet, across thousands of years, across continents that never met, across cultures that shared no language or blood, civilizations collapsed in eerily similar ways. Not because of barbarians, not because of famine, not even because of war, but because something inside them changed. This is not a story about history, it is a story about the human mind, and why no civilization has ever escaped it. When we study collapsed civilizations, we often search for external causes. We point to climate change, to invasions, to economic failure, to disease. And while these forces matter, they are rarely the beginning. They are the final stress on a structure that was already hollow. Rome did not fall the moment barbarians breached its borders. The Mayans did not vanish overnight due to drought. The Indus Valley did not disappear because it forgot how to build. Collapse is never sudden, it is slow, psychological, almost invisible while it is happening. To understand why civilizations collapse the same way, we must stop looking at events and start looking at patterns. Patterns of belief, patterns of power, patterns of fear, patterns of meaning. Because civilizations do not collapse when they run out of resources. They collapse when they run out of purpose. Every civilization begins the same way, with cooperation. Early humans were fragile. Alone, they were weak. Together, they survived. From this cooperation emerged shared myths, shared rituals, shared identities. These were not lies, they were survival tools. Religion gave meaning to suffering, hierarchy created order, tradition reduced uncertainty. Civilization was not built on power, it was built on trust. Trust that the gods were watching, the rulers were legitimate, the future was worth building toward. As long as belief remained strong, the system held. But belief has a weakness. It requires faith, and faith requires meaning. As civilizations grow, something shifts. Survival gives way to expansion. Expansion gives way to power. Power gives way to ego. Institutions that once served the people begin serving themselves. Priests protect doctrine instead of wisdom. Rulers protect authority instead of stability. Traditions become rigid, not sacred. This is where the first fracture appears, not in the economy, not in the army, but in the collective psyche. The civilization begins to believe in its own permanence. Rome called itself eternal. The Egyptians built monuments meant to last forever. The Chinese dynasties believed in a divine mandate that could not fail. This belief is intoxicating, and it is deadly, because when permanence is assumed, vigilance disappears. As complexity increases, fear returns, not fear of starvation, but fear of loss. Loss of status, loss of control, loss of identity. To manage this fear, civilizations centralize power, more laws, more surveillance, more punishment, more control. This feels like strength, but psychologically it is panic. When a system no longer trusts its people, it tightens its grip. When people no longer trust the system, they disengage. Cynicism replaces belief. Compliance replaces loyalty. Comfort replaces meaning. At this stage, the civilization still looks strong. Its buildings stand, its armies march, its economy functions. But inwardly, it is hollow, and hollow systems shatter under pressure. Every civilization collapses spiritually before it collapses physically. Rituals lose significance, symbols lose power, truth becomes negotiable. People stop asking, "Why do we exist?" and start asking, "How do I benefit?" This is not moral failure, it is existential exhaustion. When meaning disappears, humans retreat into distraction, indulgence, and tribalism. Pleasure replaces purpose. Identity replaces wisdom. Noise replaces silence. The civilization becomes rich in tools, but poor in insight. At this point, collapse is inevitable. Not because the people are weak, but because they no longer believe the sacrifice is worth it. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Civilizations do not collapse because humans fail. They collapse because humans succeed and forget why they began. Every system designed to protect meaning eventually turns into a mechanism that consumes it. The same mind that builds order eventually suffocates it. The same structures that create stability eventually create stagnation. Collapse is not an accident, it is a correction, a return to uncertainty, a stripping away of false permanence, a reminder that nothing built by ego lasts forever. Perhaps the question is not why civilizations collapse. Perhaps the question is why we expect them not to. Every civilization is a mirror. It reflects human fear, human hope, human denial, and when the reflection becomes unbearable, the mirror shatters. What rises afterward is never the same, but it is never random, because the patterns remain, they always do, and they echo beyond time.